Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we have the press conference of the drivers of Formula 1 in Belgian Grand Prix in Spa. We're gonna see what they will talk about and what the topics will be and what are going to be the questions of the drivers. So stay with us, let's watch the video together and let's listen what they have to say.
A very warm welcome, everybody, to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula 1 Belgian Grand Prix. Usual 3 segments. A few questions from me to start. Then we'll go to the broadcasters and then the print media. And if these 5 gentlemen need any introduction, let me do it briefly. Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, Kevin Magnussen and Lance Stroll. A very warm welcome to you all. Now, it's been a busy news cycle since we were last gathered in Hungary. And Valtteri, can we start with you, please? And the news that Andreas Seidel has been replaced by Mattia Binotto in the team. What's your reaction, first of all?
Quite a, I would say, sudden news. I believe everything happened pretty quickly, but obviously those high-level decisions, we as drivers and many of the team members don't know really what's going on behind the scenes. But quite unexpected. But obviously welcoming Mattia to the team, and at the same time I want to thank Mr. Seidel and Mr. Hoffman for their contribution to the team.
How do you expect this change to affect the day-to-day running of the team?
It's a bit of a reset again. You know, it's not a secret that when there's a new leadership, it will always take a bit of time. You know, first of all, Matthias need to know what are the weaknesses, what are the strengths, what are the priorities for short and long-term improvements, and that's going to take a bit of time. But again, it's third time now in 3 years, within 3 years, that we've had change at the top. So not a new situation, and I think the team shouldn't be too affected at this point. I think it's more the stuff for the future, and obviously time will show what will happen.
In case Mattia is watching this, put a little bit more flesh on the bone. What do you think are the priorities, both short-term and long-term, for the team?
I don't want to go too much into the details, as you know, obviously some things are internal, but we know that compared to, let's say, at the moment, the big teams, we still lacking a bit of human power. We could do with more people, but at the same time, the team has been hiring and growing recently quite a bit. There's certain areas that we definitely need to focus on at the factory, but also with the car performance, we're at the moment not where we need to be, and that's basically we need some new upgrades and into the right direction.
Just quick word on the upgrades that you've been running recently and how you think the car will perform here at Spa.
It's going to be, even though it's a long lap, I think it's going to be still close where we are. We did make a step in Budapest. Again, it's a very different type of track, so I wouldn't say too detailed predictions, but hopefully we're going to be in the mix and fighting close to top 10 like we did on Saturday in Budapest.
All right, Valtteri, thank you. I'm sure there'll be some more questions for you in a minute. Daniel, let's come to you next. So, management changes at Sauber. Are you expecting any driver changes at Red Bull?
So predictable, Thomas. So predictable. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But like always, just focus on myself and what I can do. And every race or few races, you know, the narrative changes, and it's just, that's the sport we're in. You know, things are happening quickly, and just got to try and, I think in these situations, focus on yourself and get the most out of that, and then see where the wind takes me. So no changes from the approach. Coming into Budapest, I knew it was going to be, 2 important weekends coming up before the break, and obviously hit the break with a bit of momentum. So that's where my head's at. So try and do well.
Daniel, you want to focus on yourself, so let's focus on you. And
sounds selfish, doesn't it?
Well, it's just a lot of people talk about your results. I'm not sure too many people ask you about how you're feeling about the situation and how you feel you are driving at the moment. Is this the best we've seen from Daniel Ricciardo for a wee while?
I mean, I'm definitely happier where I am now than the first few races this season. You know, I think I felt good all season, but it wasn't quite clicking, for lack of a better word, you know, the first few races. And I think then I've been able to, get more out of myself, certainly the last few races. And I think it's trending in the right direction. And I think that's obviously important. Of course, you want to be awesome every race. But I knew obviously after the first few that, okay, I still had to find a little bit, but I'm definitely happier. I'm more comfortable with where I'm at. And just showing those signs of speed that I know I have. And that's obviously all of us are trying to extract that out of ourselves every weekend. And some weekends come easier than others. But I think, I'm certainly sitting here now much happier than probably, 2-3 months ago.
And in Hungary, it looked like the team had got its Barcelona upgrades working. Was that circuit specific, or do you feel you'd actually made a step forward with setup and genuine car performance?
I mean, the circuit helped us because I think we were pretty strong already from Friday, and we hit the ground running, and we didn't really have to chase it. You know, it just came, and that was that. You know, so some circuits certainly help. But it's still so unpredictable. You know, did we know we would be really strong in Budapest? Not necessarily, but I think we've a bit more time now. We've understood everything, and I guess it helps getting to the weekend with a better understanding of the package, and then knowing, okay, we pretty much know the window of what this car likes, the setup. Okay, it's a big downforce circuit, so let's see what that does. But we were, had a bit more confidence, I guess. I feel like I just repeated myself a lot, but we'll see. I don't know. It's the midfield mystery. It's always pretty unpredictable where we are.
All right. Well, look, best of luck this weekend. Thanks for that, Carlos. Let's come to you now. The last time.
Okay. 2 words for the first two drivers. New changes at Kicksauber. The team principal, Andreas Seidel, is not anymore the team principal of Kicksauber. Now they have the ex-team principal of Ferrari, Mattia Binotto, and Bottas hopes that they will gain some power and they will have to be much more on top of the list. And the second one, as all we know, Daniel Ricciardo jokes about his situation at the moment at Cash Visa RB, but he says that they are improving, so let's move on.
You and Kevin were in a press conference together. Kevin said you were the cork in the bottle of the driver market, and I did want to start by asking for your thoughts on the news that Mattia Binotto is going to Sauber Audi. You've worked with him before at Ferrari. Does that complicate your decision further?
So predictable, Thomas.
That was good.
Binotto, I think, first of all, I'm not up to date with everything that is going on at every team, but of course, I think the arrival of Mattia to any team is positive, mainly because he has the experience of what it takes to build a team that is a top team nowadays, like it's Ferrari, and he has that experience from Ferrari that he can bring into Audi, and I'm sure it's a great asset for them, and that's why they hire him. Of course, I wish him all the best there.
The offer from Audi has been on the table for a while. You haven't signed it. Does this open them up as a real opportunity for you again?
Not really. I think my future is still being discussed and obviously analyzed very carefully, and there's changes to a lot of teams that I'm looking at for next year pretty much every week. So there's changes, evolution on the team market as much as there is on the driver market. And I'm just going to keep giving myself time to take the decision to analyze all these things that keep changing without giving you too many clues,
Okay, just a quick one on car performance here at Spa. It seemed that the car was performing better in Hungary. Do you think that will translate to this circuit as well?
Completely different circuit to Hungary. I think Hungary is somewhere closer to for example, Barcelona in terms of the downforce and the corner speeds. But yeah, I think now Spa is going back a bit more towards Silverstone kind of track. And last time we were in Silverstone, we struggled as a team. So yeah, encouraged to see the progress in Hungary, or we were a little bit quicker in Hungary, especially in the race. But let's see how we are in Spa, and if we can keep trying to get closer to the, I would call them now top two teams, no? Because it's clear that McLaren and Red Bull, when they switch it on, they have 3 or 4 tenths advantage over us.
Okay, best of luck this weekend. Thank you for that. Kevin, let's move to you. You have a pretty efficient car, so are you confident coming to Spa?
Well, I don't know about confident, but I'm looking forward to this track, given the sort of the nature of the car and the strengths that we've had this year. I think this track looks on paper pretty good for us. But as Daniel said, the midfield is so tight these days that it's super unpredictable where you're going to be. Even we've had races where we didn't think we were going to be good, and then we ended up being pretty good. And yeah, I think you can't take anything for granted right now. So just going in with an open mind again and try to do a good weekend.
Kevin, when you look back on the opening half of this season, how do you sum it up? Because the car does seem to be good one weekend, not so good the next. Why do you feel it's been so unpredictable from race to race?
Well, I think, we're still not consistent enough, but, from last year, we improved consistency. Last year, especially in qualifying, we were able to be good, but every time on Sunday, it would just fall to pieces. And I think we've changed that situation so that it's actually almost the opposite now. We look better in the race than we do in qualifying often. And, certainly on Sunday, we're a lot more consistent. But, again, with the field so tight together, it only takes a small little mishap and you're, qualifying far off your optimal position. And that's been a big sort of driver to the inconsistency this year, I think.
Kevin, final one from me. 2025, you've made it very clear that you want to stay in Formula One. There are, of course, still lots of opportunities in Formula One next year. But if that doesn't happen for you, where else are you looking? Are we looking at the World Endurance Championship? Are you looking at IndyCar, or all of the above?
Yeah, all of the above. I think everything is on the table in that case. So yeah, it's hard to, I'll see what's available out there and, make my mind when I get there. Right now I'm in Formula One and there's still, a couple of seats open for next year that, I'd like to see where all that ends up and then, look at things afterwards.
Okay. Best of luck with that. Thank you. Lance, coming to you.
Let me just do a little bit of commenting on these two drivers. So Carlos Sainz clearly said that he knows Matteo Binotto when he was asked, are you surprised that he's at Audi or Kick Sauber? Whatever. He said that I know him, he's a good team principal, he can manage, he can bring new things to the team, etc., because he has experience from Ferrari and things like that. And then he was asked about the contract that he has on his table, on his hands. Audi, he said that he's taking his time to consider better opportunities, maybe from other teams and things like that, but he will take it easy and not rush on making a decision. The other hand, Kevin Magnussen doesn't feel confident on the Spa with his car, but he thinks that they have improved from Belgian Grand Prix. And then they will try their best to get a good time and be as high as they can on the list. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's move on with Lance Stroll.
We were talking about consistency with the Haas, and you've scored points in the last 2 races. So does that point to you finding some consistency with the Aston now?
Yeah, I think we improved the car a little bit the last few races for sure. Hungary wasn't our most competitive event. I think we were a bit better in Silverstone. I think we're better on the longer straights, so I'm hoping we can be good this weekend.
I was going to say, does that translate to Spa? Are you as confident as you can be coming into a Grand Prix weekend?
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking forward to it. It's a great track. It's a place I always enjoy coming back to. And yeah, we've been quick on the straights this year, so hoping we can have a strong weekend.
And Lance, both you and Fernando have spoken about unpredictability with the car. What are your goals for the second half of this year? What do you want to see happen in the team?
I just think we got to keep working on the car, making it better, putting on downforce, working on the balance, just the usual things. So yeah, just keep chipping away every week.
All right, thank you. We'll leave it there. Let's go to the.
I don't want to say. I don't know what to say about this. He's like, I don't know. He acts like he doesn't care. Clearly, from his expression of his face, like he clearly doesn't care anything. Like he's like daddy's boy, and I don't care whatever happens. I will be on driving Formula One car. That's his expression. I don't know what to say about it. Like, personal opinion: I hate this guy. That's it. I said it. If you want to discuss this topic with me, like comment down below and we'll discuss it together.
Broadcasters now. Who's first, please?
Nelson Valkenburg from Viaplay for all. Given Lando's race last week, if you would have been in his position, what would you have done at the end of the race?
As in, would they have given the position back?
Exactly.
Okay. Lance?
Sorry, what?
If you'd been in Lando Norris's position in Hungary and asked to give up the lead of the race for your teammates, as was the case last weekend, would you have done that?
Difficult one.
That means...
Difficult one.
Kevin?
I mean, it depends on the situation, but it would have certainly been tempting to hold on to it. But it totally depends on where you are with the team and what sort of history there is behind as well, I guess.
You've got some history with Lando.
Not that kind of history, for sure. We were not fighting for easy 1-2s at my time in McLaren. A team order is a team order. And I think the team always comes first. It's been that way, the way I've approached my Formula One career over these last 9-10 years. And yeah, a team order, as much as it hurts, and it must have hurt to have let Oscar by, it's a team order. And and analyzing the situation, if they give you an undercut for free on your teammate, most likely than not, you need to let your teammate by, because if not, you wouldn't be in front of him if it wasn't for that undercut.
Okay.
I am so sorry for stopping the video. Like, I'm really sorry for stopping the video, but bravos to Sainz. Very beautiful and detailed answer. I loved it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's these things like come around. I think the advice he was given was also, I think, good, because in the heat of the moment, you don't kind of see it all, so to speak. It's like you see a win in front of you and that's it. But they're talking about championship and we win as a team, and you might need Oscar's help in this and that. And I think that's kind of the perspective sometimes you need, I guess, in the heat of the moment. And yeah, that's a thing. Also, as Carlos said, it's a team game, and you do need the team to help you. And there'll be times where, again, it comes around and it'll work in his favor. So as much as you don't want to hear it, of course, at times, and yeah, it's, we're all here to win. I think long-term play, it's definitely the smartest one.
Valtteri, you've been in this exact situation.
Been there, mate. Yeah, it's...
Russia 2018?
There was a few.
Okay.
Well, this... it's, I think everything been pretty much mentioned already, and agree that, yeah, there's certain rules, depends on the team, depends on the situation, but normally it comes back to you. So obviously I would give the place back because I'm an amazing team player.
Any regrets?
Yes.
No. In my whole life, no regrets.
We had the situation where Bottas gave the place to Hamilton so he could chase. I think it was Vettel, if I'm not mistaken, or Max. I don't know. I'm a little blurry on my head at the moment, but he gave the place to Hamilton so he could chase because he had the better tires than Bottas, and then at the end of the race, before the race ended, Hamilton gave the position back to Bottas, and that's how it happened. I don't know which year it was and what track, but I know this how the situation happened. But let's move on.
All right, let's move on. Next one, please.
It's Craig Slater, Sky Sports. Now, just want to pick up on that with the two ex-McLaren drivers, Carlos and Daniel. I mean, if they end up losing the championship by 7 points, the Drivers' Championship, won't that be seen as a mistake? And they are facing accusations of not being ruthless enough to win. Is that a kind of naive viewpoint, do you think, based on the way things are?
It's hard because I think, if in that case, obviously we're talking about Lando and Oscar here. So in the case of Lando staying in front, and then it fractures the relationship, not only with the team, but then with your teammate and Oscar, there's not 3 races to go. There is still half a season to go. So I just think with that and looking ahead at the rest of the season, there will be times where Lando might need to lean on Oscar, and if you fracture that still with a half a season to go, I think that's where it becomes difficult. So, look, maybe me as a young kid in Formula One would have thought very different about this, but I think with age and a little bit of experience and wisdom, I think this is the way you have to look at it.
Yeah, I personally think you guys are being very tough on McLaren. I think if you see where McLaren were a year and a half ago and where they are right now, it's something to admire and something that only them have achieved with the way that they've developed the car, developed the team, and put themselves in a position to even be considering fighting for the championship. Whether they will win it or not by 7 points, those 7 points might be somewhere else, not only in the event of Hungary. Might be because they started the season further behind maybe than what they wanted, and not in that exact race from Hungary. And I personally admire a lot Andrea Stella, the way that he's handling that team, the way he's handling every situation, how calm everything looks in McLaren, even if you guys are pushing them to fight for bigger things. But I think they are in the right trend, and right now they're the strongest team in Formula One. So hats off to them.
Thanks both. Yeah, Rich.
This is for all of you except Daniel, because you've already answered it, Daniel. So not predictable. I want to hear from you all how you assess your first half of this season and what you're looking to improve on, whether it's you or the car in the second half of the season, please.
Lance, let's start with you.
The usual stuff, some good races, some disappointing ones. And for the second half of the season, just trying to build on the first half, get more competitive as a team, try and score points week in, week out. Just keep pushing to the last race.
Yeah, I think coming into this year, we thought we were going to be the last team on the grid, and we haven't been. So I think it's been a positive surprise. There's always, when you look back, there's stuff you could have done better, but I think everyone can say that. So I feel like we've had a good first half of the season. The second half, I think with the couple of upgrades we've had this year, they've actually worked, and it's the first time in Haas's history that we brought upgrades to the car that made it faster. So that's a real step forward there already. So hopefully we can keep that going. We're on a good trend, I think. So hopefully we can just keep that going.
Carlos.
Yeah, I guess on a personal level, it's been a season full of up and downs, as I think anyone here can say. But some very good ups at the beginning with a competitive car that was allowing me to fight for a lot of podiums, a race win, and I truly enjoyed that. And I wish we can get ourselves back in that position as soon as possible. On the personal side, it hasn't been easy having to deal with first of all, having to miss a race, but mainly with all the discussions about my future going on in the background. I've said many times it's not ideal for any athlete sitting here right now to perform at the highest level of their life without knowing where you're going to be next year. And I do believe there's still potential inside me, whether if I take this out of my head, but given the circumstances, I think I've been performing at a good level with everything that's been going on, and I'm still enjoying myself every weekend and trying to be grateful and appreciative of the position that I'm in, and just trying to nail every weekend and go into each race like if it's the last, and in the meantime having to handle everything behind the scenes about my future.
It's been a challenging year for us. We still haven't scored a single point, which wasn't the target going into the season. So we wanted to see upwards, trajectory. What's the word? Yeah, trend in the performance from last year, and it hasn't happened. And we started the season with not that easy car to set up, and even by the pure pace, we were not quite there. We've made some improvements since, but more like baby steps instead of big jumps, unlike some other teams around us. So we definitely have a clear direction for the second half where we need to improve the car, but that's just now what we need to do. We need to make it faster, and a lot of that obviously comes from nowadays from the wind tunnel and the design office, etc. But about my performance. I've been happy, and my job for the remaining of the season remains to extract everything I can of the package every single weekend. That's my job.
All right, thanks all. Next one.
Moritz Steidl, Servus TV. Question to Daniel. Daniel, you've been linked to Red Bull Racing last year as a reserve driver, and you did a lot of marketing stuff. How strong is this bond, and how much of communication flow is still going on that might help you also to drive for them sooner or later?
You're saying like how involved am I still with the team? Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's you share the same hospitality, and you have the history. And also last year the link was quite intense until you got promoted to Visa Cash App. How much of the communication is still going on with the guys in Milton Keynes and so on that might help you in sooner or later?
Yeah, I still speak with Christian and Helmut on that side still quite a lot, and that's a lot still goes through them, honestly. So that's that. Other parts of the team, not really, because I'm here and I focus on this stuff here with my team and my engineers and everything. But let's say obviously last year I was inside the drivers' meetings, like the post session debriefs, and asking all the engineers some questions and whatever. But clearly that's not the case now. But the Christian and Helmut side still, and it's good to see them after a good result. Helmut still he'll let you know when the result's not good, but I feel I definitely feel happy being back in that and under that kind of microscope, if you will, and in that environment with a little bit of that pressure. It's fun, but that's probably the best way I can answer it.
Hi, Rodriguez from DAZN Spain. A question to Carlos. Some people miss the old days with the lighter car. Nowadays, the last day we know that the FIA increased the overall weight of the car in 2 kilograms for the next year. I would like to know, how do you evaluate that?
Obviously, 2 kilos is not a big change. The problem is when you start adding 2 kilos on top of another two, which I think is where the trend has been in Formula One over the last 10 years to keep adding 2 kilos here, 3 there, 5 there. And then the cars have become 800 kilos heavy, when in the past they were 600, around 600. So work is going on, I guess, for 26. At the same time, I think this weight has made the cars also safer because there's a lot of impact structure and a lot of work being done on the driver safety, which I'm never gonna deny that I want, and I want that safety to be as high as possible. But anything that we can do to bring the weight back down, I think every driver here will appreciate it, and we hope that the FIA and the teams are taking that into consideration when deciding future rules, not only the 26 ones.
And Rodrigo's.
I also want to say that the cars have become slower. And I hope they bring back the old sounds. They open they take out the mufflers on the cars. So, yeah, we love to watch Formula One, but also we love to hear the car sound, because we as fans love the sounds of the Formula One cars.
It's worth mentioning that those 2 kilos are for driver health in 2025. All right, any more questions from the broadcast? Yeah,
Albert Fábrega, ESPN Latam. Following this matter, have you been in difficulties to accomplish the target, the weight target that the team set to you on the last years? So with these 2 kilos extras, it's going to be easier for you to reach the targets. Anyone who
wants to? Oh, Carlos, you got the mic?
You want to? No, me personally, no. But I did have to be careful with the amount of muscle you put on and the food that you take. But I've always been on the limit of that weight. But I can imagine being a Nico, an Esteban, or who else is tall? Russell. I wouldn't be very happy if I was 180 something centimeters. So yeah, I understand it's been done probably for the heavier drivers or the taller drivers, because they were always struggling a bit more than medium size like me.
Yeah, on that as well. It's definitely, they can't help being tall, so it is, it is unfair if they have to, kind of dehydrate themselves just to make the weight, so to speak. But even us, if we're not even reaching that weight, it is nice that we have the freedom to, be the athletes that we need to be. And it's not like, we have to watch, we can't do too much strength training, or so having a little bit of freedom now around our training. And I think that's a big benefit for a lot of us.
All right, thanks both. Yep.
Yeah, Felix Gonner, RTL Television. Carlos, what will be your best option, your wish for next year cockpit? Is it Red Bull? Is it Audi? What is your favorite one? And to Daniel, very short, in 3 words, what do you like in Spa, the track? 3 words.
My best option for next year would be a championship winning car, which is what has been my number 1 priority since these talks about my future have happened. And the likelihood of that, we all know that is small, but that's always been my target. And if that doesn't happen, I'll choose what's best for my near future for sure.
Who's going to win the championship next year?
I need to go and check. See what's out there.
Daniel, 3 words, sorry.
First word, waffles. Second word, Poulon. And third, Rouge is 2, so I have to just...
Radillon.
He helped me. Radillon. Oui.
Thank you. All right, we'll do one more quickly for the broadcast.
Diego Mejia, Fox Sports Mexico. Question to Daniel. You've been working with Max in the past. I think you had a brief chat during the drivers' parade in Hungary. Were you surprised to see him come so publicly against or strong against the team during the race on the radio?
So I heard the in-race radio stuff. I didn't hear any TV pen or post-race stuff, so I don't know if that continued. But yeah, I heard let's say the little conversations between him and GP. Look, sometimes it's hard to explain why we, I put myself in this position. Some races, I'm super calm, and other races, I'm agitated, and everything frustrates me and annoys me. So it's not always, I would say sometimes our actions or the way we feel is not always predictable. Yeah, I mean, I don't probably have enough. I mean, the context is, I think there was one where GP said something about bringing the tires in. Obviously, Max didn't. He just probably pushed straight away, and that's, I would say that's coming from a place of frustration. So something leading up to that has probably made him just be like, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to push and see what happens. So obviously, it's probably built up frustration through the race, but yeah, it happens. I don't know. It's yeah, I don't really know how to answer it. It's for sure. There's going back and forth, having conversations, say through the race. Yeah, it's probably not ideal, but yeah, I guess we've all been there at times where for me, the race was frustrating on Sunday. For whatever reason, I chose silence to, let that do the talking. And okay, on the in lap, then I said a bit more. But yeah, in a way, I couldn't be bothered kind of chatting about it through the race, because for me, like, what was done. So any talk I had kind of felt a bit hopeless or helpless. So that was my way of handling my frustration in that race. So it can vary. It's race to race dependent, I guess. It's a hot and sometimes very flustered environment in the cockpit.
Thank you, Daniel. Right, print media, please. Let's go.
Okay, before the print starts, I want to say something. Daniel just gave a brief saying that Max Verstappen is an angry driver and he gets frustrated. He doesn't care about nothing. And we saw that in 2 races, Austrian GP and Hungarian GP. So we will watch and see what he's going to do in the future. If he's going to get back to his old self, or he's going to continue to be much more productive. Hopefully we won't see big crashes and someone getting hurt. We don't want that. We just want to have a good race and have fun watching the race and have fun in the race. Let's move on.
Graham Harris, Motorsport Monday. Question for Carlos. You've said publicly that you're frustrated by people asking you where you're going and when you're going, and the whole thing was caused by Lewis saying before the beginning of the season that he was leaving. You will obviously take your time in deciding where the right team is, but if you don't get the right offer, is there any chance that you would consider a year out in a sabbatical?
Absolutely no. Sabbatical is not even in my head. I'm happy in Formula One, love Formula One, and I would rather go down to a midfield team and help and use my skill in my peak of my career to try and help a midfield team to find the right way than taking a year off of being third driver for anyone. I'm competitive and I know I can still bring to a midfield team that side of me.
Thank you. Next one.
Jake Boxall, Autosport. Question for Valtteri, please. We've spoken a lot about your team's kind of future movements, Andreas and Oliver leaving, Mattia coming in. We put this to your teammate earlier and he suggested that perhaps all of the discussion over the future, all of the investment into the future was kind of detracting from the here and now, and this is where the team is having problems. Is that a sentiment you agree with, or is it a little bit reductive from that standpoint? Thank you.
Well, definitely the last year or two, it's not been really stable. We're not being really super stable as a team because there's been lots of people leaving, lots of people joining. Now another change up in the leadership. So for sure that doesn't help, like here and now moment. And even the previous shake-up, it was made for the future and more like for long term. But with the change again, I think if we've had the same, let's say, leadership and so on for the last few years and that stability, maybe there's more time to focus on the issues and solving them. But yeah, this team, to me, it's been pretty clear that all the decisions in the last year or two has been made to be competitive from 26. I know it's not ideal in some cases, and like for me, unfortunately, many times fighting towards the back end. But like I said earlier, my job is still to do the very best I can, and at the same time push the team and contribute the best I can. That's all I can do at the moment.
So that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching this video with us. I hope I was not bothering you too much with my comments, and hopefully we will be seeing each other again in the next videos, and we'll also have a lot of new contents coming on our way. So please stay with us, stay with this channel, and please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel, because without your help, we're nothing, and with your help, we're gonna be on top. Please help us become much more bigger, much more greater, and become much more accurate for you fans. Thank you very much one more time. Till the next one. See ya.